All right. I'm Lieutenant Commander Aaron Riutta, and I live that Coast Guard lifestyle.
Devastating damage expected. Hurricane Katrina. Most of the area will be uninhabitable for weeks. All gabled roofs will fail, leaving those homes severely damaged or destroyed. Partial to complete wall and roof failure is expected. All wood-framed low-rising apartment buildings will be destroyed. All windows will blow out. Persons, pets, and livestock exposed to the winds will face certain death if struck. Power outages will last for weeks, as most power poles will be down and transformers destroyed. Water shortages will make human suffering incredible by modern standards. Livestock left exposed to the winds will be killed. Once tropical storm and hurricane force winds on set, do not venture outside.
So, welcome to this episode of the Coast Guard Lifestyle. Thanks for stopping by and watching. We got Lieutenant Commander Aaron Riutta, been in the service for 15 years, born in Juneau, Alaska, and he's back here serving a tour. Prior scientist before coming in, OCS graduate, and yeah, here we go. You ready?
I am.
Who
Let's
are
do
you?
this.
Tell me who you are.
Well, Aaron Riutta, and as you said, born in Juneau, Alaska, and within the Coast Guard, I am a response ashore officer.
So what did you do before joining the Coast Guard?
So I've mostly dabbled in the scientific field. So I did work with harbor seals out of San Francisco, and then I did aquatic toxicology, and that was out of California. And so basically, we would be doing testing water quality.
I assume you had a degree.
Yes,
You paid for that degree?
I did.
Student loans?
Just parents and through hard work and
Where's
it
your
is
degree
other.
from?
So I got it actually here in University of Alaska Southeast, and it's environmental science with a minor in biology.
Okay.
It's my undergrad, and then the Coast Guard put me through grad school. Yeah.
What
all
is
sea
your
bears.
degree in?
So environmental science and biology.
How do you get a job in the civilian world utilizing that degree?
Well, I would say usually through your instructors can help. In my case, it was actually through my brother's girlfriend at the time. She had worked with this particular lab, and I was getting ready to graduate here, and wanted to get out of Alaska a little bit and continue sort of exploring. And I applied for a job at this company, and they accepted me. So after I graduated the University of Alaska Southeast, I moved down there.
Do any of those jobs that you know of pay any good?
No, no, not at all. My feeling was, by and large, the most of the opportunities would be more like gaining experience, and then you use that on your resume to help you get another job.
In your experience, what level of degree does someone need to have in that field to actually make money?
Oh, I'd say at least a master's, if not doctorate, probably more like a doctorate if you wanted to make decent money.
So what year did you join the Coast Guard?
2007. I was had applied for officer candidate school and then got accepted in 17 weeks of fun and excitement.
Why did you apply for officer candidate school?
Well, it was a combination of factors. So, my family had served before, so I knew that the Coast Guard had treated us well, and that you could make a career out of it very well, and then that could actually, even if you didn't make a full career out of it, it could launch you into other careers. You could take advantages of veterans' preferences, things like that, right? So you can go into other fields with a very strong resume that people respect out in the workforce, and with a number of benefits.
What was your class number?
One tax 08,
2007.
2007. Yeah. So we started in August and then ended in December in Connecticut.
What units have you been at?
All right. So
And what rank were you when you were there?
after OCS, I went to Pacific Strike Team. So, and I was Pacific Strike Team from my ensign days to the LTJG, Lieutenant Junior Grade days. And then I was there for basically 2.5 years.
Do
Mm-hmm.
you think your prior background helped get you there?
Certainly. Well, yes, I do. I think that that helped me when I was there. So I think that we had, understanding just the environmental science aspect has benefited me repeatedly in my career. So, a perfect example. So, before I did the Coast Guard, I did environmental consulting. And so, a big part of that job was doing vibrocore analysis. So, I would actually run vibrocores off of a boat in San Francisco Harbor. So, it came across our desk. Commander Loring was like, does anybody know how to even do this vibrocore analysis? The EPA has this really, thought to be contaminated area, Hunter's Point, and we don't know exactly, how to proceed forward with this, and we just want to know if anyone has that background. It just so happened that I had handled probably multi-millions of dollars worth of sediment, so I can say that I have used my degree quite a bit in
Well, awesome.
my field. So I know not everybody can say that, but I certainly can.
Well, I would say
My
none of that would
predecessors.
be possible if you wouldn't have had that degree prior to coming in the Coast Guard, because that doesn't sound like anything a Coast Guard member would have learned and done.
Yeah. Well,
That's
that's
pretty
why the
cool.
Coast Guard takes all. I mean, it could really benefit from all types of people. I mean, it's like no matter what your background is, if there's an interest and you want to, serve the country. And some of the work that I've done has been, not insignificant, and so it's been kind of fun that way, I think.
So after the strike team,
So after the strike team, 2 bouts of Deepwater Horizon, and then off I went to the University of Washington. So I actually went through the Coast Guard and got a graduate degree in industrial hygiene.
so you are an actual industrial hygienist.
Yeah,
Is there a
not certified,
certification? Not certified.
not
That's
certified,
okay.
but I am
But you
industrial
are
hygienist.
an
Yes, I would
industrial
say that I am
hygienist.
an industrial hygienist.
That's a
Yes.
big deal.
Yeah, so I got my master's degree in that. Coast Guard paid for it. I was allotted the time to go and do that whole program. But then the deal is that you do what's called a payback tour. So you have a number of years. In my case, you did 2 years. It's a 4-year payback tour. And so I did the 2 years there at University or UW, University of Washington, and then I went right over to District 13 Safety Environmental Health Officer position, which is out of Seattle. So kind of stayed in that general area, and then I did that for 4 years.
What rank were you there?
As a lieutenant for all 4 years, and
You've
filled that.
had some really cool opportunities just because of your schooling.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, it's like look for opportunities, be opportunistic. I know that sometimes that word has a negative connotation, but I like to consider myself opportunistic. If I see something that falls into my lap or that I see and I want, and it's something that's realistic, or even if it's not, if it's a long shot, but it's still a chance, still a chance, I'll go for it.
What happened after that?
So, yeah, I did that 4 years, and then I ended up getting a call from the detailer, and I had put in a list, and I was trying to do anything that I could to go to a response ashore IMD shop, which we call Incident Management Division. And so I basically put on everywhere from Sault Ste. Marie to San Francisco, I think, and I had some positions in Juneau, and so the detailer called and was kind of one of those conversations that was like, well, so I'm looking at your list, and I see that you have some interesting positions, including some in Alaska. So I was wondering if you would accept a position up in Valdez, Alaska. I asked if I could take the day and talk to my wife about it and see, if she would be game. He said, sure. Just letting you know, though, we can't guarantee you're going to get anything on your list if you don't pick this up. I'm like,
Really? Well,
well,
that's
I'm like, Roger that.
How about that comment?
Like, yep, nope, understood, understood. So, but no, I went home and talked to my wife, and you know, we talked about it pretty briefly, but she's actually pretty excited for the opportunity and kind of the adventure.
So in Valdez, what position did you hold?
I was the response department head. So basically, I was in charge of their IMD shop. I had an ME1 who worked for me as well, in the kind of enforcement side of the house, and yeah, and I was able to get my pollution responder and federal on scene coordinator representative quals there. You know, so the Coast Guard is very qualification based, so making sure that, you know, you're always staying on top of what you can. Again, going tying into that,
Mm-hmm.
being opportunistic.
What position do you fill
So I fill
in
the
Juneau?
deputy of incident management within District 17.
What does that even mean?
Well, as it turns out, I basically assist the district command with all things response. So I do anything from search and rescue to doing overseeing the DRAT, the District Response Advisory Team, who deals directly with oil spills and pollution releases. And so it's basically whatever is needed, and I have the boat force manager under me, and I have I work directly with the command center, and I work for an aviator captain. We also do a lot with the air stations, so we support the air stations. We have two of them here in the District 17, Alaska, and including the largest air station in the country, out of Kodiak. And so we're kind of busy getting pulled in any number of different directions. And yeah.
What about your wife? Is she proud of your career? Does she have any regrets? Does she have anything that she doesn't like about the Coast Guard, or that you know of that she has shared with you? Anything that irritates her?
I always, you know, the moving aspect's a little intimidating, you know, but then I don't know. Jean, my wife, has been pretty amazing about being supportive. I mean, even when I was at the strike team, this is pre-kids, but even at the strike team, you know, I'd be deployed, you know, what, 280 days out of the year. So a lot of deployments, a lot of days out, you know, where I was gone and she was in California, you know, by herself basically. And you know, so she would just kind of focus on work and everything, and never really complained or anything about it. You know, it's just challenging, and we kind of more look at it as a, you know, if something's bothering us, we talk about it. I think, you know, like any relationship,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the open communication's the key.
If there's a young person sitting here watching this video trying to determine if they want to join the military, Army, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, Marine Corps, or if they want to go to college or take a civilian route or go flip burgers at McDonald's or whatever, what advice would you give them?
I would suggest that build up resiliency. I think that oftentimes everybody's like, you know, oh, make sure you have really good grades, make sure you do this, make sure, you know, you've gone out and done community service and all that, which is all important. I'm absolutely going to say that that's important. But I think personally, regardless of even if you go into the Coast Guard or not, I think that understanding that you will have challenges, you will be tested, and you will fail, and that oftentimes actually those are the best learning experiences, and then pivoting from those and just keep trying is an incredibly important trait to have in order to be as successful as you can at life. That grit has a value of its own in the eyes of the people around you too, and the people that you may not even know that look up to you. And I guarantee you there's a lot out there in everybody's little world, that you may not even know look up to you, but seeing you getting hit and then getting back up, I think, is hugely important.
Well, good advice. What is a Coast Guard chief to you?
Coast Guard chief is the backbone of the service. My dad had given me one piece of advice. Once I got out of OCS, his words were always trust your chief. Trust but verify. The bottom line, though, is that, with the experience that a chief brings, the practical side of it, the chief's there and a direct conduit to the people that work for you and all the enlisted, junior and otherwise, and also the junior officers, too. So always trust your chief is a really general statement, but I think by and large, absolutely true. So I'd say that's it.
Okay. If a person had a college degree, a bachelor degree, and they were looking to join the military, is there anything wrong, you feel there is anything wrong with them going enlisted versus going officer?
No, certainly not. I do see them as quite different. So as a general rule, I've always seen the enlisted side as being sort of the specialists in whatever their field is, and sort of the general workforce, and the officers would be more of like a manager in like a civilian position. So if you like to get your hands dirty, and if you're somebody that likes to turn wrenches, if you're somebody that likes to get in with the camaraderie, that likes to be a part of that sort of team at the deck plate level, you can do that as an officer early. But the higher you go, the more managerial and frankly political it can get. Going enlisted, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, regardless of what level of training or schooling you've had. I think it's absolutely honorable, and for some people, it certainly suits them. Yeah,
Okay. You have the GI Bill,
I do.
the post 9/11 GI Bill?
Mm-hmm.
Have you already signed your family members up for
Oh
it?
yeah.
Do you think you will ever use it?
Oh, probably not. I
But
could. I mean, it depends, I guess. I could go for my certification. There's a couple courses there, but by and large, I think they're going to get the lion's share of it, and rightfully so.
your kids?
Yeah, a little bit for Gene, too. But, I mean, if you're planning on doing something with your career, like if I were to go for a doctorate, I might consider not. But pretty much, we're hopeful that our kids are going to do that level of schooling, and then that'll help regardless of what they end up doing if they go in that college route. So
Well, the good thing about GI Bill is it pays for pretty much
it's
anything.
like anything.
Yeah. Certificates or license or
Oh yeah.
college degree or anything.
Yeah.
So my daughter, she got her 2-year degree and now she's in culinary school.
That's awesome.
So she's getting 2 degrees out of it. And I'm still going to have 10 months left to be able to pay for my welding classes whenever I get out of the Coast Guard. Okay, well, thank you for stopping by and watching this episode of the Coast Guard Lifestyle with Lieutenant Commander Aaron Riutta. And remember, if you are seeing a recruiter or if you're thinking about joining the Coast Guard and you go talk to a recruiter, please mention Lieutenant Commander Riutta's name so that he can get some recognition from the Coast Guard. And mention this channel so that we can get the word out there and other people can see the interviews on it. Well, I appreciate your time and thank you for your dedication to service, sir.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and thank you for yours.
You're welcome.
Awesome.
And we'll see you next time.
Take care.